What happens is they say to themselves, you know what? I couldn't eat enough, drink enough, have sex enough to be happy. I couldn't build enough, earn enough. And I couldn't even give enough. I couldn't give enough of my time. I couldn't give enough of my money, because eventually there was still something empty. So there are 4 levels of happiness, and I think you want to be happy, because all of us want to be happy. But most of us don't really know how to practically go about it. So we do all sorts of things to try to find happiness. The things I'm going to talk about go back to Aristotle. They meander through St. Thomas Aquinas and many others too that are smarter than me. But let me summarize it for you. The first thing is that we have a physical happiness. We have a tactile happiness. We actually go after the easiest thing to become happy. We eat, drink, smoke, have sex. We do things physically to get physical gratification and have happiness. And it can work. The problem is that it is the easiest thing to do, and that it can actually be bad for us even though we find temporary pleasure in it. Now, that doesn't mean that these things are actually bad things as long as they're in order, right? I mean, if you want to have a little bit of your favorite food, fine. You want to have 10 servings of your favorite food? Probably a problem. So we need to make sure that we have things in order, and if we have those things in order and we enjoy that little glass of whiskey, fine. Bottle of whiskey, not good. I'm going to use Hershey bar as an example. When we reach happiness by having a Hershey bar, and a Hershey bar is a metaphor for all things that I just said physically, it usually takes more than one Hershey bar to get to the same level of happiness. So we have happiness because of the Hershey bar, then we go down a little bit, and now we have to have 2 Hershey bars to get the same rush. We go down further, now we need 3 Hershey bars to get the same rush over a period of time until we find destruction. Eventually a person eats Hershey bars all the way to their death, or they graduate to the second level of happiness. And the second level of happiness is accomplishment. You usually see these people on Oprah or something like that, and they say, oh, I was an addict, or I did these things and I had these bad habits, and I realized I wasn't going to find anything there. It led me to a kind of a greater level of despair, so I decided to set out and accomplish a goal, and I did. I wrote a book, I won a gold medal, I made $1 billion, I did whatever it is that I did. I built a company, and now I feel amazing. And that does work. And you're happier for a longer period of time when you do it. But it comes a point where you just say to yourself, I realize that I couldn't eat enough, drink enough, have sex enough to find happiness, that it was fleeting. And so I started to accomplish things, and then I realized that I couldn't win enough gold medals, I couldn't build enough businesses, and I couldn't make enough money. It was never enough for me to keep the happiness. So then people graduate and they go to the third level and they say, Oprah, I used to eat and drink and it didn't work, so then I accomplished things, but now I feel like I need to give back. And they enter the philanthropic mode, and they realize that by contributing and giving, they receive a greater level of happiness. And it's a real thing, and it lasts actually quite a bit longer. Now, what's important to note is that these don't negate each other. The person who is a philanthropist doesn't necessarily not enjoy a glass of whiskey here and there, and they don't necessarily stop building something to accomplish because they're finding a certain level of satisfaction, but they realize they can only give them so much. When the whiskey's over, the satisfaction is gone. When the money is earned, the satisfaction is no longer there because it was that chase, it was that working towards something. And what happens is they say to themselves, you know what? I couldn't eat enough, drink enough, have sex enough to be happy. I couldn't build enough, earn enough. And I couldn't even give enough. I couldn't give enough of my time. I couldn't give enough of my money because eventually there was still something empty. And they move into the existential level of seeking happiness. And that is to say, where did I come from? And where am I going? What is my life purpose? What is my big why? Who made me if I didn't make myself? Is there an eternity? Now for me, and I'm not trying to evangelize when I say this, but I wrestled that with myself. In fact, I wrestled it quite intensely. I became Catholic as a result. Now you might land in a different place, but until you understand that question objectively, until you're able to say to yourself, I feel confident in my answer. Now, you're probably still going to need faith. That's what it's about. We can't know some of these things with a 100% certitude, but that would not require faith. And yet at the same time, you have to know as much as you can possibly know without self-deceit. See, if you find that you can't eat enough, drink enough, have sex enough, accomplish enough, build enough, give enough, or spend time enough with others to have happiness, you will also find there's a certain level of dissatisfaction even in the existential approach. And the dissatisfaction comes from insincerity, a lack of actually sincerely seeking what is true. See, the person who never finds happiness is the person who lives by the motto, I want to believe what I want to believe. Okay, great. I want to believe that I can make the Green Bay Packers and then I'm going to live till I'm 700 years old. Doesn't matter if I want to believe those things. I shouldn't believe them because they're not true. The only thing that really helps a person find existential happiness is the desire for the truth and the sincerity of being able to adapt and to conform your life according to what that is.
Thanks for watching. The top comment on this video gets a free copy of Dave's new book, Leading Giants. So be sure to comment and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.